Hello, my name's host Eric, and I'm host talking to famous people, and I want to talk a little bit about an idea that Mega Bro just re-explained to me, so I would get it right. And basically, it says that when people utilize Fi and Ti together, it can help them to resist external pressures that would cause them to behave in ways that are inauthentic to themselves in some sense. Whereas when Te and Fe are used together by groups, it tends to result in some sort of coercive protocols that require the individual to conform to the group. I would say there's a lot of complex cognitive function interaction that goes into play with the behavior that you might put on uh, the same axis. It might be very much the faux fum axis, right? That the urge to conform versus the urge to either. And see, the thing is, there's the urge to conform that is kind of like an urge to fit in and have zero conflict, and then there's the urge to. I think there's the urge to attain the benefits of conformity versus the urge to avoid the conflicts of nonconformity. And then on the other end, there's the conquer versus destroy distinction. So this would seem to correlate strongly with on this conformity nonconformity type of an axis. However, I agree that when people use Ti in particular, and I think in conjunction with Fi, you're right that it will make them resistant to persuasion. However, I would also say that one of the big distinctions between Ni and Ne is that I think that Ni is much more resistant to persuasion. The truths of Ni are much less fragile than the truths of Ne, and in fact, that any heavy person can easily enough be misled if they, especially if they have Fi in the seventh slot down a ill-advised course. But of course they probably won't stay on that course very long. So I don't know. The point is, Ni would seem to correlate with certainty and finality pretty clearly in a way that would be bolstered by Ti and Ni best. So if you had like all introverted, if you had like Ni, Ti, Fi all in your conscious stack, you'd be this rock. He was completely unswayable in your opinions.
Well, NI working properly does change its opinions, but it does it slowly over time, as it if it wraps new things into the picture. But it doesn't do it very quickly.
I think it probably does it in sudden bits and fits and bursts. Unlike any, which does
Yeah,
it gradually and steadily, or less gradually, depending on what mood you're in or whatever. Um,
right.
but that, yeah, it's not a fits and bursts kind of a thing. So, of more practical concern, perhaps, is the FETE being utilized by groups to enable what might be deemed coercive pressures to conform. It's something that obviously, as an NTP, I have a gut instinct against and want to oppose whenever I see it, sort of. But I also understand that there are a lot of people who just instinctually say to prioritize the individual is selfish. I think the problem is that they don't understand the way that the FETE mechanisms actually play out in real life. They're just sort of legislating on their values rather than their expected outcomes. Any thoughts on this from anybody? Mega Bro, you want to explain any additional thoughts about how TE and FE are coordinated?
Oh, I made this comment a while back about what happens when you mix certain port codes. I'm feeling lazy. If I was going to do this again, I'd probably just write it now.
That's fine. See, and I think this is indicative of the fundamentally different worldviews of different types of people. I could never imagine being asked a question like that and not just immediately start bullshitting something, you know, without even a second thought. I literally wouldn't think about it. You ask a question, the first a few words would start prompting some ideas, and I would just start rolling with it. And the thing about that is, the problem with it is, you really have to develop a sense of NI regarding the matter of concision, of understanding where a distinct idea is and where you're just running into a bunch of mush. And that could be a big challenge for an ENTP because, we're so NETI driven, like I'm saying, we're thinking out loud, we're developing our ideas as we're saying them, that it can be a challenge to not just ramble off into nonsense. And I think to a certain extent, it's a problem I'm facing in this video right now. So with that thought in mind, I think I'm going to take the NI route and draw it to a close. Thanks for watching.